Sup, my dudes? This is Teller Creations. What up? I'm enthusiastic. Shut up. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite film and its predecessor, and my whole collection devoted to it. Now, I'm not a crazy... Well, I wish I was the crazy person who had all the money in the world and could spend hundreds of dollars on these exceptional sets that... You know, there's the big-ass case for Blade Runner, which comes with all versions of the films. It comes with a little toy spinner, and it comes with... I think it comes with a unicorn as well. It's really actually quite a nice set, but because it's only DVD, it's like, but also it costs so much, so it's like, And then there's the Blade Runner 2049 one-clicks and the HD Zeta shit, and it's just like, mother of Jesus. So... I don't have any of those extreme level stuffs. I have one HMV set, and I have a lot of versions of it on Blu-ray, and I did have the DVD. Do I even have the DVD anymore? That's a good question. I think I had the DVD. I think I gave it to my grandparents because I got the Blu-ray. I guess that makes more sense, right? So we're going to go through all of the versions of Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049, my personal favorite film. All of them on Blu-ray and 4K and Special Edition. And then we're going to jump into my physical extras, this being my books and other merchandise, pretty much being the big-ass 2049 book, the comic book as well, and pretty much my toys and figurines. And by toys, I just mean Funko Pops, because I'm not a child, but still collect child's playthings. That is if, of course, you regard Funko Pops as toys or children's stuff. Either way, I consider it merchandise. So let's jump in to my first thing, which is, it has to be, of course, the original, and I guess I wouldn't call it the best version of it. This is the Blade Runner 4K. This is the Australian release, which of course has quite a nice artwork. In fact, I did have a Blu-ray version of the final cut with Dangerous Days, which is the only reason I bought it, because I wanted to get the Dangerous Days documentary. I ended up giving that to a friend of mine who actually edits some of my videos, just because I give stuff away for free to my friends because I'm a nice person. So this is the 3-disc version. It comes with, of course, the 4K, which has the same artwork on the front. That's all regions, because that's what 4K is. You got the Blu-ray of the final cut right there, and you have Dangerous Days. It's a pretty simple thing, in fact, just as an overall. Yeah, that's literally it. It looks exceptional on 4K, of course. I haven't watched the Blu-ray version of it because I would prefer to watch the 4K version, because of course I have the 4K, so why would I not watch the 4K instead? But I can say that the 4K is exceptional. And Dangerous Days is actually really good as well. I watched that. I actually did a triple thread last year where I watched Blade Runner, Dangerous Days, all of the shorts, and then Blade Runner 2049. And, of course, it was quite a weekend. Next up, we actually have more of the original Blade Runner, which is on the shelf here. This one I actually just got recently for $50, $60 Australian dollars. This is Blade Runner, the 5-disc set. This is 3 years ago. I wanted to buy the original set, which came with had the unicorn on the front cover and everything, and I wanted to buy that, and I was like, I almost had enough money for it, but just when I was going to buy it, it had actually sold out, and I was really just angry with myself for not buying it so early. You know, it was a really good price. Why didn't I get it? Why did I hesitate for so long? And so I ended up going on eBay about maybe 2 months ago, and I found this. Someone was selling it. I think, if I'm not wrong, someone was selling 2 different versions. Like, there was a bunch of versions that were being sold. Someone had this, but it was slightly damaged, and then there was this one, which you can see has a bit of age to it on the front of the little cover. But at the same time, it looks really nice. It's got some scratches and stuff, so it's definitely quite worn to some degree, but I don't mind that given its age. But this is an all-region version of every single version of Blade Runner. So, of course, you open this baby up, and it comes with a booklet, which is in almost pristine condition. This is a little booklet that pretty much just explains all the different versions. So it has the final cut, which is the first disc, of course. Has a picture of Rutger Hauer. It has Dangerous Days, which is the making of Blade Runner documentary, as I had in my 4K set. Then you've got the third disc is the archival versions, which is the US theatrical cut, from 1982, the international theatrical cut from 1982, and the director's cut from 1992, which I did have on DVD, but of course, like I said, I gave it to my grandparents. Then it has this nice inner spine. Every image comes with, I'll show you, every image comes with a person as well, which is quite nice. Nicely kind of color associated to some degree, so it's a pretty good, it's a nice little booklet that just kind of tells you all the details about it. Like this one saying for the archival versions that they're all in 1080p high definition, all seamlessly branched and separated, available on one disc with introductions to each by Ridley Scott. And then, of course, you have all of the little chapter titles. Then you've got your fourth disc, which, of course, has Prim. This is the Enhancement Archive. I have not yet watched this. This has, in standard definition, Inception, which is a bunch of special features talking about Philip K. Dick, pretty much just the whole novel to movie thing. Then you've got Fabrication, which is still more pre-production things, a lot of, like, wardrobing and screen tests, and deleted and alternate scenes. Then on disc 4, which is a continuation page, you have Longevity, which is about the promotion of the film, and then you have all these trailers for every single version of the film, including the 2007 final cut, which of course, got again another character card, which is, it's all nicely detailed. And then of course the final disc, which is the real reason that I really got it, you get the work print version, which of course comes in high definition. And I have actually skimmed through the work print version. It is definitely interesting, to say the least. You can definitely see how it's not because even though it's the work print version, it's not like a version that has, like, it's actually like a minute shorter. Yeah, because the work print version on here is 1 minute, 110 minutes long, whereas the other versions are all 117 minutes long. And yeah, so then you've got your discs. You've got disc 1, the final cut. You've got, obviously, disc 2, which looks identical to what I've already got. Disc 3, which has all the director's cut, theatrical cut, and theatrical cut. They all have nice artwork to them as well, which is pretty cool. That's the Enhancement Archive. And then, lucky last, you have the work print version. It's a nice set overall, and it's quite thin. Like, it's not American thin, pretty much, as I would say for American releases, but it is ever so. It's a nice Australian thin. It's, if I was to compare it with 4K, they're pretty much the same size in thickness, it's out of focus, which I apologize for. Nevertheless, I'm happy that I have these two. Arguably, if I'm going to watch the film, which one am I going to watch? I'm most likely going to watch the 4K version. But if at some stage, I'm like, hey, I want to watch the work print version, or hey, fuck it, I want to watch the, international theatrical cut, I don't actually know what all the differences are. This isn't like there's Close Encounters of the Third Kind has a 30th anniversary set that I have on DVD, and it comes with a poster, and on the back of the poster it has all the timelines showing all the differences between the 3 different cuts, the theatrical, I think it's international release or extended cut, and the director's cut. So there's all of that. But then we get to my favourite film, Blade Runner 2049. Now this version here, the first one I'll show you, this is the JB HiFi exclusive edition. You can pretty much tell because the regular version doesn't come with a bonus disc and doesn't come with the artwork being so orange and red, orange and blue. Orange and red? What the hell am I looking at? Orange and blue? I'm not colorblind, I'm sorry. And of course it doesn't have Joy or Wallace on it, which is the usual theatrical cover, which I will show you in a second on my other version. This version I got first because it was a JB HiFi exclusive. I loved the film as it was by this stage. I'd seen it twice in theatre. I'd seen because I'd grown up with, I hadn't even grown up with Blade Runner. I saw Blade Runner in year 11. Was it year 11? Yeah. I saw it, this is 2016. I saw it then. Of course, I knew about it. I had heard a lot about it. But I only watched it in 2016 on the director's cut on DVD, which is the only version we had, because my year 12 literature class was going to be talking about Do Angels Dream of Electric Sheep, so I figured, hey, I should watch Blade Runner. I had read the book, so then I of course watched the movie. I was kind of confused about the difference and stuff, because obviously there's a lot of difference, but I still really liked the film. And so then we get to 2017, where this bad boy comes out, and I had watched it originally in theatre. This was like at Hoyt's, and unfortunately we got the back row because it was actually a packed cinema, which seems weird given that the film flopped at the box office. But it did really, at least this is like one of the, in its early 2 weeks, like the trailers looked like crap. It looked like a generic action sci-fi, and I wasn't really into that. I was like, this looks terrible, because you contrast it to the first film, which is not anything like that. But then we watched it, back row. I could mostly only hear the ambience and all the background audio, which was amazing and made me really live in the world of it. Memorable enough, of an experience enough for me. And I didn't catch most of the plot because, of course, all the scenes at Wallace's place where you got the water reflecting the audio onto the walls and shit, I couldn't hear what he was saying, but I really liked the film. And then I watched it again maybe a month or two later at the Astor Theatre in 4K, and obviously I got the whole gist of it and I fell in love with it. It was just exceptional. So I bought this version, which I also watched. This comes with 2 discs outside of the Ultraviolet, which is already out of date because digital codes are a waste of time, and I hate when they fucking print it on the goddamn cover. So this comes with the regular version, because there's no other version of the film, on Blu-ray, plus a bonus disc, which was the only real difference in terms of the film for JB Hi-Fi. Like, oh hey, we've got the regular version that you can buy, which if I was to go out of my way to buy every single version of the film, then yes, I would buy the DVD, and yes, I would buy the regular version from JB Hi-Fi. But there's no need to, because I don't see the point in buying lesser versions of what I already have. Like, this is a good version. It comes with the film on Blu-ray, it comes with a nice cover, and it comes with a bonus disc which has To Be Human, Fight of the Future, the action of Blade Runner 2049, To Become One, and Dressing the Skin, the fashion of Blade Runner 2049. Which, of course, it also includes Designing the World of Blade Runner and the prologues, which are already included on the regular disc. So, that's quite nice, that's a good addition. Then, of course, a few months later, I bought a 4K TV. So, of course, I get the theatrical cover, which comes on the 4K. And it comes with the 4K, comes with the Blu-ray, and it comes with, again, Ultraviolet, which, oh, look at that, also out of date. You got your 4K disc, which is from my favourite scene of the film, and you've got your regular Blu-ray, which is identical to the Blu-ray I already have. But the thing is, this, if you notice on the very edge there, if it'll focus, it lacks those small details from the bonus disc. This doesn't have the bonus disc. Meaning that this was still a worthwhile purchase. Because by the time I was able to get the 4K, it's like, hey, I now have 2 versions of the same film, one on Blu-ray, one on 4K, but I have all the special editions, all the special features. And of course, I care about that stuff. I've watched them all. They're great. It's much like getting the 4K of Blade Runner and getting, upgrading to the 4K of Blade Runner because, actually I upgraded to the Blu-ray first from the DVD because I wanted to get Dangerous Days, also I wanted to get the final cut, which was how I first watched the final cut of that film. The second time I watched it was it with Dad? I don't think so. I think I watched the final cut of Blade Runner with Noah. Dad wanted to come, but he wasn't able to. And Noah and I saw it at IMAX, which was really interesting. That was the first time I saw it in 4K in IMAX in theatre. It's the only time I've seen it in theatre. And I've since watched the 4K final cut with Dad. But, of course, I got the 4K because it was like a 2 for $40 bundle. Hey, I can get this with a different film, so I picked it up. And it was worthwhile. And then, of course, I've gotten the complete set because I wanted to, the collector set. But then, of course, we have another version of Blade Runner 2049, which is over here. Now, if you've seen my recent videos on my channel, you will know, well, probably not recent videos, in the recent few months, I did a Deluxe Edition version video, which included my HMV slipcover release of, well, digipack release of Blade Runner 2049, as well as Shaun of the Dead. This release, which comes in a very nice slipcover, I love when they do this, actually has the same bonus. It has everything that I already had. It has the prologues, it has the designing of Blade Runner, it has the 4K, it has the Blu-ray, it has, you know, the fight for the future and the to become one and dressing the skin, and to be human. But it actually has new features, which you can kind of see there. It does say new, it's kind of focusing. You've got the return of Deckard, Denis Villeneuve, I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I just pronounced it as Villeneuve, from fan to filmmaker. So it has 2 new special edition features, which I have not yet seen. And this is what the set looks like. So, pardon that little thing, that's what you call a viewfinder. This is what the Steelbook looks like that they had for HMV as well. I preferably prefer this. It even has a nice spine because, of course, you have the slip card, the J card. It's not even a J card, really, is it? I don't even know what you'd call that. I think it's still a J card, but maybe not, because that's not exactly a J-shaped, kind of. So this comes with a whole bunch of shit. So look, I went looking for the steel case for this film. I was almost going to spend $126 on the Kamichi DVD one. I still have that on my eBay watch list, as well as another version of the steel case, which is the exact same steel case, except it comes with a fucking magnet. So it's like, instead of getting all these additional images and stuff, and I don't get that whole Kamichi DVD thing because, you know, I'm not going to get the one-click anytime soon. Maybe one day, yeah, sure. But right now, no. But eventually, I'd love to. However, this was the best looking special edition I really needed. It was the exact same. It cost me $80. I was going to, this is 80 Australian dollars. I was going to buy that Steelbook. I was like seconds away from buying it, showing my girlfriend, hey, what do you think of this? But then it was just suggested, hey, what about this? And of course, I bought this instead because this is the opening of the Digibook. On the other side, you have all of the discs. And you have, so the 4K, which I already have, the Blu-ray, which I already have, and the special edition bonus disc, which is the same artwork from the back of the regular pack. And this artwork on the inside here, with him with Kay next to his car, is the artwork from the steel case. You know, so this doesn't really make me think that I need to buy the steel case. I might at some stage, just because I am fracking insane, like most people are. We all like to get too much bonus stuff. It's a really nice set. It's nice, it's glossy, it's shiny, and I can flip it around if I want to, so I can have Deckard on one side or I can have Kay on the other. It's very nicely done. I love how it's set in the world, but my main favorite thing, currently at least, is actually this. Now, if you've seen my special edition, deluxe edition video, then you can skip a bit more forward to see the book and all the rest of the stuff, because I'm just going to be showing this off for those who haven't seen it. This is the poster, which is of course identical to the actual cover. Eventually I will get this framed and I will hang it up on my wall, but until that day it remains with the special edition, which makes sense in my mind. Additionally, you get this beautiful booklet called Blade Runner 2049, which does come with other editions that you can get. So that's obviously him with Joy and the prostitute, who I can never remember the name of, but she's played by Mackenzie Davis. And then you got the other side, which is a tree. And it's just a, well, outside of that image in the middle, and that image there, which is also still my favorite image, oh my god, it's just a bunch of text talking about the film. It's all nicely displayed. It's got a lot of images inside it, which is cool. But the way it's designed, you can kind of see it, how the text changes from red to orange to kind of, it's got a haze of green, but mostly goes to blue, so it's orange to kind of yellowy green to blue, which is nice, and it translates over each page, more or less. And again, more stills from the film. And yeah, it's overall a really beautiful little booklet. But last but not least, the creme de la creme that really sold me on this set outside of the poster, because I love posters. I know I could get the poster for like $10, $20 on eBay, but, you know, why bother getting that version when I can get it with a set? you got postcards, baby. These are postcards designed by Matt Ferguson. I love Matt Ferguson's artwork. So this is the Deckard one, which of course they also come with these little designs on the back. So it has its name, it has the Scotch glass, and of course who it's designed by. The reason I got these instead was because most special editions and deluxe editions come with little postcard versions, but they're just shots from the film, which can be nice. That's great. Hang them on your wall, whatever the hell. Get that framed with a poster or whatever, and it looks great. But sometimes it's like, then you get shit like this, where it's like, it's so unique. And this is LA Rooftops. Again, all designed by Matt Ferguson. You've even got some text on the top of it, which is actually the words that are on the little sign. You've got Protein Farm, which has 6, 10, 21 on the top. Then you have a more iconic shot, which is from Las Vegas. And you've got, obviously it says Las Vegas and it has the horse. And last but not least, you have Joy. And again, a shot from my favourite scene from the film. Not the way that the shot is actually, shown in the film, but it's how it's been recreated by Matt Ferguson. I just love his artwork, so to see all this stuff and to be able to own his artwork, which I already do. I hadn't actually realised by that stage, but I already did own his artwork. I own the John Carpenter 4K sets, which he did the artwork for. These are the Studio Canal sets. And these are the more intense sets with all the, comes with every version of, like, the 4K, the Blu-ray, the special edition disc. It comes with a whole bunch of shit, So, he's a deluxe level person, but, like, at the same time, he can do, artwork for other films, It doesn't just have to be, big, heavy films or stuff that has huge budgets. I mean, look at those Carpenter films. They're not really big budget films. And yeah, that's my deluxe edition of Blade Runner 2049. I mean, there is the obvious thing of like, oh, if you wanted to flip it, you can't exactly, that doesn't exactly work. But you could always just dispose of this. I wouldn't throw it out personally. I would just put it aside somewhere. But, as you can see, it nicely folds up like that. Yeah. So it's been a few weeks since I previously filmed the whole of my Blade Runner collection, including, of course, my HMV set, as you can see here. But I thought, given how I haven't released a video yet and won't be for a while, I should show off this new edition. This is the HD Zeta Steelbook Edition, double lenticular. You've got embossing on the side for the 3D and Blade Runner title, as well as the Sony Pictures title, and embossing on the top with some nice reflective surface. The front, of course, is Harrison Ford's character of Deckard. There's a little bit of scratching on the sides of it, which is okay. There's a little tinge at the top of his head there, which you can kind of see of that white line, and just some minor scratches along the front, which is also fine, given that I more prefer this end to it anyway. It does have heat residue from fingers, which is annoying, but obviously it clears off, like you can wipe it away. This is more attractive to me, especially because of the colour and the image. Of course, all those lines are from the lights above, as you can tell. But yeah, this is a very attractive set. Now, you might be wondering, holy hell, Julian, or Telecreations, or whatever the hell your legal name is, how did you afford such a hefty set? Well, I'll tell you. As you can see down here, it does not have a logo or number. Because of the original 300 of this set that were released, this is not one of them. This was a re-release by HD Zeta of just the box and the insides, not including the WWA, so the worldwide available Steelbook, which I shall also show you. But instead, it's just these two things that came in the package. And I actually ordered this from someone on Facebook, lovely from France. Comes with this folder, which has a nice, obviously, matte finish with some nice glossy looking titles to it, very attractive. Of course, you got your copyright stuff. Open it up, and that's where your card would be. Normally, I even asked the person, oh, where's the card? And they said it doesn't come with a card. And that's when I looked up and realized, oh, this is the cheaper version. I believe there were still only 500 of these actually made with the character cards, but as you can see on the postcard, it does still have the HD Zeta logo, which means I officially have a HD Zeta, though it's not the original kind of deal. It is the original design with the original re-release print. Pretty much, yeah, it's the cheaper version. That's all I can really say about it. Does it make me feel like it's a bit dodgy? Not really, because it is still the HD Zeta brand. It's the premium edition, silver premium, I think it is. I don't care much for the insides of it with the character cards. The book is quite nice, and different from what I already have in the previous case. However, it is just images. It's just stills from the film. Like, it is literally just stills from the film. There is nothing special about it. Which I'm okay with, you know. They all pack away nicely into this little folder, which can be hard to get them in sometimes, but luckily I've juggled it right. Come on. So, luckily, because it's just images and stuff, there's no real reason to take it out outside of showing it off for the audience to give them an idea. So this is what you can still get normally on eBay for a pretty good price, which just comes with these two. With nice spine, nice front, nice back. And here, where the steelbook would be, comes with like a little foam plastic, so it can all stay together. Pretty much, so if you have the regular, if you just want the packaging, you can get the packaging. If you already have a steelbook, or you have this in particular steelbook, luckily they got the steelbook which actually has the name on the front, then you can get that too. And it is a very nice looking steelbook. It's not one of my favorites, surprisingly. Again, very easily to smudge of fingerprints, but it's just kind of a, not exactly a glossy finish, more of a, it doesn't feel like a matte finish, but definitely has just, it just feels like a steelbook. And you open it up, and of course you have all the discs. This is the 3D Blu-ray included, which you of course have your famous shot of Joy speaking to Deckard, which is really one of the reasons why I wanted it, outside of just having a steelbook to own. So it's nice, it's pretty, it's exactly what I was paying for, and I only paid less than 200 Australian dollars, that's for sure. I paid it in euro, which I think was about, I genuinely cannot remember how much I spent on it. Which one do I think is the more worthwhile set? Probably the HMV one, given that it has the posters and stuff like that. Plus it has the 4K, the bonus disc. Obviously the booklet is a lot nicer, and the art cards and the poster are a lot nicer. The packaging itself is quite nice if you take off the slip. Doesn't have any embossing or anything. Doesn't have any lenticular, but it is very nicely designed anyway. I do like the lenticular, double lenticular HD Zeta version. I like that I have it. I'm not going to obviously buy the extremely expensive $400 version that has the number card and everything. If I was a bloody millionaire, then yeah, sure. But that ain't me. So of course I have shown this off previously, so I won't show it off again. That's just an additional thing before we get into, I believe it's the books and CD and pop vinyls. So yeah, let's just weirdly transition into that, because of course this is being filmed differently. So that's great. Thanks. Excellent job, me. Let's move on. So let's do a vroom transition into my books and figurines. Yeah. Vroom. Hello everyone, welcome to my bedroom. This is going to be shot differently. I have a bookshelf in my room, which is like the only shelf I have in my room outside of my actual bed, and my bed is full of pop vinyls, and this one is obviously full of majority pop vinyls, but actually I'd say majority books. And so this second half of the video I'm going to be displaying my merchandise dedicated to the film. Of course you have just seen my Blu-rays and 4Ks, my physical media of the film, but now we will continue with my other physical media of the film, which is just one thing over there, and then the rest of this. First up, we're actually going to briefly talk about the soundtrack. I love the cover. It has that on the back, which is very nice. Look, now you can actually see the camera. Wow. I bought the soundtrack because I love the soundtrack. There is nothing really much to add to it. It has a little booklet in it, which is really hard to get out. I hate these fucking CDs are a bitch. I buy CDs to burn the DVD, well, not to burn it, to put the music onto my hard drive, and then to later listen to the music only on my phone. I never listen to the CD again, which arguably is a pointless thing. Like, hey, Julian, why don't you just, you know, can Spotify it or something? But it's like, why bother when I can own the content? It comes with the booklet, which has all the songs written up. Then you got images from movie. You got further image from movie, which is exactly the same as my that big set that I have, my deluxe set that I just showed off. Another image from the movie, and of course my favorite image from the movie. So it's a nice little booklet. You know, it's not really wholeheartedly amazing, but it's like they're not going to include lyrics and shit because the songs that actually have lyrics aren't even done for the film. They're like, you know, Suspicious Minds and shit. Like it's Elvis songs or Frank Sinatra. And then you've got your disc, which is actually the image that you get on one of the special editions. And there's actually a second disc behind it, which I think, how do I get to it? Do I do it like this? I do. Which has Decade. And of course you've got the back of the artwork there. Which again, one thing that I found really hilarious about that is that all of these images, these are the images for Decade and whatever that you get on one of the special edition steel cases, which is very interesting to say the least. Next up, of course, we have the spinner. I bought this for like $50, maybe. They had a smaller version, but I wanted to get the bigger version because, of course, I think it's a really cool thing. This is Agent K's spinner. Get some focus up shots of that. So yeah, there's nothing really special to it. You got spinny wheels. It's practically a child's toy, but it has a lot of great detail. It has... Let's see if I can get some better close-ups of this. So as you can see there, you've got the number plate and the back of the car. You've got the side of the car, which even has some metal grazes and damage to it, which is really nicely done. You can even feel it in the texture. It's obviously clean on the other side, because that's the side that isn't damaged. It's going to focus on my hand. And then you've got the windshield. Next up we have Blade Runner 2019. This is the comic book, the first volume called Los Angeles, written by Michael Green, Mike Johnson, and Andreas Guinaldo. I'm obviously great with pronouncing names. And of course you've got the back cover. I haven't actually read this one yet. It's the first volume of and definitely a continuing series by Titan Comics. But it has interesting artwork and stuff. It's obviously set before, I think it's set before the blackout. Maybe because the first film's set in 2019, so this one's also set in 2019, so this is probably, might have some relation to the film, the first film, with obviously connecting elements to the second film. But yeah, it'll be interesting to watch it when to read it when I finally get around to it. I know that they did have multiple different covers of it, but I only found this one, and I figured, well, hey, this looks nice. I think I got it at Minotaur or something, so, you know, gotta go to my local comic shop. Alright. Oh, wow. Now, I don't have the deluxe edition of this, which comes with a slip cover and an extra lithograph, which is like glow in the dark, which it costs like $120 odd, which is ridiculous. But I do just have the regular version of the art and soul of Blade Runner 2049. If you've seen my my video talking about my film books, this is of course one of the big showcases. I found this at Supernova or Comic-Con last year. And of course, I saw it in its all still wrapped in plastic. I think I got it for $50, which is cheaper than the regular price. And to be fair, I prefer this cover anyway because it's exceptional. It even has a little bit, he's bumpy. He kind of see that little reflection because Agent K sticks out, and of course it's huge. So, you know, you got a whole bunch of stuff. You got even a foreword by Denis Villeneuve. This is actually all written by Tanya Lapointe, who was on the set production of the film the whole time. Hopefully that doesn't affect the microphone. And of course, it gives you that. Just hit the microphone. Sorry about that. It gives you this whole big. Look at how big that landscape is. Oh my god, that's the spinner. It gives you this whole big look into the production of the film, talking about the pre-production, the scripting, and the cast and crew, and then talking about the actual making of and the world of. And so it obviously has a lot of imagery and a lot of great stuff. Stuff that I can't really show off that well in this video, but you get the idea. It is the art and soul of my favorite film. That actually kind of works. So I realized that my Blade Runner Pops were in the theater room, so I guess I'll show them all one by one, starting with Agent K. I don't have his box anymore because I got him before I got rid of boxes. He's not bad. He's got a nice design to him. You know, I like him. He still looks like generic human. Doesn't look perfectly like Ryan Gosling, and but he has a nice paint job in terms of pop vinyls. Trust me, I've been collecting pop vinyls for a while, so I know what is good to look for. But I like the look, I like the design, and he has good texture, so it's pretty cool. I like his gun too. Then of course you have Deckard. I do like that you get him in an action pose. Now I do know that they are releasing pop vinyls for the first film, so it'll be interesting to see what the designs look like for the first film's pop vinyls. He's got a little dent on his chin, but outside of that, he looks good. He looks old and weary. He doesn't perfectly look like Deckard, but that's alright. Human characters on pop vinyls aren't always the best, to be honest. Then you got Joy, who I bought for like around $10 on Mighty Ape, I believe it was, from New Zealand. I do have a box still. It's just in there because she stays with the others. She does have a translucent raincoat, which is actually nice and plasticky, which you can move a bit. She doesn't have the perfect paint job around her boots, and her hair has a little ticks and tacks here and there, but outside of that, it's a nice mold, and overall, it's not a terrible design. It's pretty good for the character, if we're going to be completely honest. Like, obviously, her more iconic look is the, you know, giant pink lady, but of course, I can't really make that into a pop vinyl, now can you? Then we get into the more generic designs. These ones I actually got. The ones in the boxes here I got for $60. I got the Chase for $30 and the other three for $10 each from this guy in Sydney who was moving to Queensland. So you've got Sapper in his case. I won't take them out. There's no real point. But like that's what he looks like design wise. It's not a bad design. This is Dave Bautista's character. In terms of collecting the whole line, I have them all now, so that's nice enough. You could never really find Sapper for a cheap price, even though he's like probably the least popular of them all, especially because his character's pivotal to the story, but isn't in it for that long. So it's like, why is he a pop vinyl, and why does he get a Chase? His Chase, if you don't know what pop vinyls are, Chase, the more rarer ones. This one I've kept in a plastic case for obvious reasons. It does come with the helmet. It's literally the exact same version, but he has the helmet on, and it comes with a little like pipe connecting to his back. So it's just what he looks like when he's actually in the protein farm. It's a nice look. It's at least different for a Chase, which is good, compared to the regular version. But yeah, I wanted to get all these at the cheapest prices I possibly could, because generic human characters don't look that great. Then you have Love. This is her design on the side there. It's not bad. Her earrings are interesting. Like, I like her glasses especially. Even her shoes actually have a platform, like a little space between the platforms on the base for the heels to make it look more futuristic. This is part of her costume from when she was like getting her nails done and getting, you know, shooting at the missiles around Agent K to, you know, convince him, you know, find the child, get on with it, you know, do my dirty work for me. And then, of course, you have your... To be fair, Love is, like, my second favorite character behind Joy. She might actually be my favorite character, but, like, just Joy has some really great imagery and stuff to her, and the meaning behind her character is immense, whereas Love is just a amazing villain. Because I love how it's like, oh, you have Wallace, who's like the leader of the corporation. He's played by Jared Leto. He's blind. You know, he's got a nice... I love the blind look on his eyes. If the one over here makes it look like he's cross-eyed or something. But it's, of course, got this, like, this, like, Japanese clothing to him, which definitely goes in line with the rest of the whole kind of Japanese, like, theme, like, look of a lot of it, with the Neo-Japanese, Neo-Tokyo stuff. If you look on the side here, if it'll show you, it's not going to focus. Oh, it'll focus, okay. Just on the side here, a lot of people have pointed out how there's a screaming face, and it looks like it's screaming out saying pop movies, which I find quite funny. But yeah, as an overall, they're not bad pop vinyls. I'm not going to go crazy for figurines, but because I like the pop vinyls, I figured I'd at least collect the set, so it was nice to... I found Deckard and Kay at a store. It wasn't hard to find them. I love that I have the big art and soul of Blade Runner. I love that I have the comic, which eventually I'll start reading, and obviously the soundtrack, which I adore, and the movie, and its predecessor, Blade Runner. Just two exceptional sci-fi films. And that's my whole entire collection. So, look, eventually, someday, I'll probably buy the Blade Runner 2049 Steelbook, but for now, I'm holding off for better things, or for things that I don't have that I should be getting and spending my money on instead. Outside of that, thanks for watching. If you're disappointed I don't have any, like, the Kamichi DVD or the big immense sets, like the big Blade Runner set that's like $1,000 with the Wallace box and the, like, replica of Kay's gun and shit like that, I apologize that I'm not fending for my life and, like, chucking out all my money on this one film. I do like other movies. But yeah, so thanks so much for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more. If you want to check out my other collections, I have a playlist probably on screen up or down here. I don't know what other video will be suggested. It could be my deluxe editions. It could be really anything, to be completely honest with you. So maybe my David Lynch collection. That's probably the one I'll link. So yeah. My channel has stuff like that. I showcase stuff from my shelf. I talk about movies, all that kind of jazz. Outside of that, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Adios.